Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Today, we're continuing with our analysis of Lesetja Senona's testimony at Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. Today, I'm looking at that sharing of confidential information. He shared 3 documents with Makala in that meeting. It was the Senzo Mchunu and Tebeka Mchunu's Foundation. It was the President Cyril Ramaphosa's 3 IDs that were linked to companies, and they wanted them to be, some of them deleted. The third sharing was this affidavit of Esmael Nangy. Okay. Esmael Nangy is an alleged Mozambican kidnapper. He was released from jail, from custody, following a collapse of extraditions by Mozambican government because they wanted him for other criminal stuff in Mozambique. Therefore, and he was released, and then subsequently him being released, he alleged that police were torturing him, and he wanted some civil claim sort of charge against the police. This is a pattern, if you haven't noticed, of these part of these people who are linked to these cartels, that when they are arrested, they sort of try to put charges. We now know from previous testimony, the charges they put these charges so that the people involved in the case can be removed, or the person in charge can be removed. And then they put in a different team that would actually favor the cartels. So this pattern of alleging that police have tortured, it's a pattern. Okay, it's a pattern. It's a significant pattern with these people who are accused of links to the cartels. Now, this exchange here was Lesetja Senona, the head of Hawks, in a meeting with Vusimuzi Matlala, a member of the Big Five cartels, all right, who is in custody waiting for a trial. At this time, Matlala was in custody. They were in a meeting. They shared these confidential documents, and an affidavit relating to Nangy's case. So we're going to listen how, when they ask him about this sharing, this excessive sharing of information. So this case really questions about this undermining of the law, the privacy law of South Africa. The privacy law of South Africa is the POPIA, it's called POPIA, Protection of Personalized Information Act. In short, we call it POPIA. So here is the head of the Hawks sharing a confidential affidavit information with a civilian and a person who is not involved in the case, not even the member of SAPS. Even sharing amongst the member of SAPS, the POPIA doesn't allow it. So we're just going to listen to it and see how he gets out of this mess. Okay?
Yes. News 24 has seen signed affidavits by Nangy and Bryce that were due to be submitted in court in support of their bail applications. That is now, it reminded me that I think it was there when I sent it. Because these people, they just posted these things there. I did send it. It is not actually a police docket. It is affidavits with attachments that they were going to submit in the High Court. Thank you, Commissioners.
The affidavit, if you want to call it that, is not in this S5. This is a news report where News 24 is saying that they have seen affidavits. They don't post those affidavits in this article. They don't link to it, for example.
The question is, where did you find it?
That's my question, but it's not in S5.
I'm saying, in relation to this document here, already these affidavits, News 24 has seen it. And then I believe that I got it from the News 24, and if not, it should be a WhatsApp. So, but this was already there. It is not a docket, a police docket that I have sent to Mr. Matlala. It is not a police document.
It's affidavits in a complaint.
It's affidavits and attachments.
Yes.
You will realize when you look into that documents, there's also correspondences between Mr. Nangy's attorneys and the NPA, of which we don't have that in our case docket that we have been investigating of the KwaDukuza case. This is how thing KwaDukuza is the KZN.
Okay, I'm not sure what question you're answering. I'm saying to you, where did you get the affidavit that you shared? You said you got it at S5. S5 is a report from News 24 where they say they've seen affidavits and they are reporting on the contents, but they don't make those affidavits available. So you couldn't have got it from here. So my question is, where did you get it?
I said either here or over WhatsApp from somebody. Then I also said my problem is with my gadget, because I don't want to make something that I cannot substantiate. But what I want to say, this is my response, commissioners.
And
oh God, in trouble. That is him in trouble, answering his own question. He claims that the affidavit was in News 24, which is false. That would not be in line with POPIA. And yeah, this whole thing of affidavit, news media saying they've seen the affidavit, while we know now from Witness E, a lot of this stuff, they don't even see affidavit. It's what they get from emails or leaks, and then they report them as affidavit, while it's not an affidavit, because they know affidavit are confidential. They'll just say we've seen affidavit. Saying that is a lie, actually. I think they need to stop saying that, to reporting that they see affidavit while it's not really an affidavit. It cannot be given an affidavit that has so many information and other people's information. That will be excessive sharing of information, even with the media. So my plea to them to stop saying they've seen affidavit. Well, we know it's not possible you could see someone else's affidavit unless you are actually a complainant. It's wrong to say that. But anyway, let's continue to listen.
your purpose for sharing it with Mr. Matlala, I hear you say that why did you need to share the contents of that affidavit? Because the article itself provides the information you wanted to convey to him. Isn't that so?
I shared with him, and I indicated yesterday to sensitize him that there is this person in his area where he's staying that was arrested for kidnapping, extortion, and then he was released. He must just be careful, him and the wife and the children. He must just be careful and take more precaution on that. That is the reason why I sent it to him. That's why you say, if you say, why have you sent it? I've already indicated this yesterday.
Yes, you could have sent him the media report, but you didn't send him that. You sent him the affidavits. Why didn't you send him the media report?
I don't know. I don't have an answer why I never sent him the media reports. But these documents are documents that they utilize to file in the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development to institute civil claims against the police.
Okay. So it comes back again to this question of your role and your possession, sharing these kind of documents with members of the public. Even if it were, and we don't know that it was, as you say, circulating in the public domain because you have not been able to show us that, why do you become part of the circulation and distribution process? Shouldn't you, in your position, refrain again from that conduct?
I don't think sensitizing a person about a individual who's residing within the same vicinity, it has to do with the office that I'm holding. That it was just a fair sensitization of Mr. Matlala in relation to that individual and the things that this person was arrested for.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I'm saying you could have done that by sending him the media report and not sharing the affidavits with all of those annexures, some of which are very sensitive. That's the distinction I'm making. Do you understand? Do you understand the distinction?
I hear what you are saying. You say, why I never sent them only the newspaper clip.
Yes, because the newspaper clip would have served the function of sensitizing him.
I believe by then the decision that I've taken is to send him whatever I was having.
Right.
Not necessarily to distinguish that I must send this or this. I sent him whatever I was having.
General,
So,
sorry, just look at page 65 again.
I'm looking at it, Commissioner.
Do you see that it's a police document and it has a sub-stamp on it?
On the left, I've indicated that it's got a stamp of the SAPS.
So this is a subs document.
But on top, Commissioner, it is written, South African Police Services and Department of Justice and Constitutional Development. Then underneath, there is this date stamp of the police, affidavit, RIF, criminal charges, kidnapping, extortion, theft, assault, intention to do grievous bodily harm, all those things. And then it says, in the matter between, there's complainants, 2 of them, and then there's a list of people
General,
that are listed there.
Do you want to answer my question? But bear in mind that I can read, so you don't have to read for me. I'm saying, do you accept that this is a subs document?
For me, it is not, although it has the stamp. These are documents that were utilized for civil claim.
So you're saying this is not a subs document?
I'm saying these documents, according to me, are documents that were utilized for civil claim.
No, I'm not asking you where they were used. I'm saying this is a subs document bearing a subs stamp. That's the reason why it would have that stamp, because it's a subs document.
If it is a subs document, Commissioner, we index such subs documents differently than what is happening here.
So you're saying this is not a subs document?
I do not know, because as I'm trying to explain, the Commissioner says you can't say this. The Commissioner wants me to say it's a subs document. A statement of a police document differs from this one. They differ. They're not having this a preamble and the way this one is being crafted. Hence, I've got a difficulty in believing that this is a subs police docket.
Okay. Let's move on. Did you consider it appropriate to share with a private citizen such as Mr. Matlala a document that shows that Mr. Nangy and Mr. Brights have lodged complaints against members of the SAPS? I won't mention their names, but you see them on page 66. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. Do you consider it appropriate to share with Mr. Matlala a document that shows that Nangy and Brights have lodged complaints against members of the SAPS? What does that have to do with Mr. Matlala?
When I read the statement of Mr. Nangy, I saw that he is residing in midstream, Centurion. That area, that midstream security complex, Mr. Matlala is also residing there. I send it based on the statement that this gentleman is staying there and he has committed kidnapping where they have demanded a ransom of 35 million. And then the case was withdrawn. I didn't even say the case was withdrawn against them or what. But the purpose of me sending this, because of this affidavit, was to sensitize him to be careful of this gentleman.
But you are sending him details of the subs members with their ID numbers and telephone numbers. That's what appears on page 66. Do you see that there are ID numbers of people there with their cellular phone numbers, with the stations where they are based?
I see only
What
one.
interest does Mr. Matlala have in this?
Commissioner, I see only one ID number.
Do you not see the 7521 ID number? Why do you say you only see one?
Can I be assisted? Where is the another one?
Do you see the top one is 8304 on page 66?
I see now.
Yes.
I see now. Commissioner, if I can respond, when I read this affidavit, I never read the entire file. I read this affidavit and then I sent it.
I'm going to try to save time. The point is simply this. If all you wanted to do was to warn Mr. Matlala about this person who lives in the midstream estate, the newspaper article does that. There was no need for you to send subs documents that has details of subs officers to Mr. Matlala, because that has got nothing to do with Mr. Matlala.
I hear you, Commissioner.
So it was wrong to do that.
Maybe it's a fault that I've done. I didn't read the entire thing to see what exactly is inside, so that maybe I must be selective to say, let me send only this one.
General, did you have reason to believe that Mr. Matlala doesn't know that Mr. Nangy lives in that estate with him, that is his neighbor? Because I understand you to say that you saw from these documents that Mr. Nangy lives in midstream and you wanted to warn your friend. Did you have reason to believe that he doesn't know that he lives in midstream?
What I believe, Commissioner, is that this man is dangerous. The issue of me believing that he didn't know or knew, no, it never pitched up. What pitched up in my mind was the mere fact of the crimes that this man was picked up for, arrested for.
Do you guys think he shared that information because he wanted to help Matlala? Or do you think, like I think, that Nangy, Matlala, they come from they belong to the same Big Five cartel? I think they are. Remember the head of CI told us Big Five cartel, their specialties. There's some specializing with kidnapping. Yes, some car hijacking. Yep. So, let's listen, guys. Let's listen. Continue to listen. He's going to be caught anyway with this lie. This is a lie.
Or to testify upon. It doesn't matter if the advocate is not happy with my response, but I'm telling the truth to the best of my recollection here. I'm not trying to evade anything. I'm telling the truth to the best of my recollection.
And the Nangy affidavit was something that you were asked about specifically in the subpoena, isn't that so?
I believe so. I want to check where is my subpoena. I'm trying to search for my subpoena, commissioners. I don't know where I put it, so that I can just have a look and respond to the advocate.
Are you referring to the regulation 10.6 notice, which sort of indicated what you were required to address? Or
Correct, commissioners. Yeah, I'm looking for it. I don't know where's my files, some of my files here, the actual subpoena in order to respond. Sorry, because the advocate is saying in that document I was required to talk about the Nangy issue.
Yes, so, Chair, we're trying to find it whether, it's in the record in order to assist the witness. But I can read out the paragraph of the notice that's relevant. And the question in this, in relation to this Nangy affidavit was the following. What was the witness's purpose in sending a WhatsApp message to Mr. Matlala on 10 March 2025 at 21:03, attaching the complainant affidavit of Mr. Nangy, and then we attached it, and other contents of the docket in CAS number, and then we put in the CAS number. So that was the question.
I think I've highlighted the purpose, commissioners, yesterday.
Okay.
For the purpose of securing time, I did highlight it yesterday. If maybe the advocate was making note, the purpose I've highlighted it. I was asked several questions, and vigorously so yesterday, regarding the purpose. And I think I have responded yesterday, commissioners. And I still remain with that.
You see, the problem with this is that you suggested that you didn't really know the details. You didn't know that where Mr. Nangy lived. You didn't know the details of the case. But once you were aware that this very serious alleged criminal was released, you felt you needed to warn Mr. Matlala. But the reality is that you did know about the details of the case because you had received a complaint in February last year by the DPP in KZN regarding your oversight of the case and deficiencies in your management of the investigation of that case. Isn't that so?
Commissioners, the issue, I've never received a complaint from the DPP in February 2025. I've never. And I want the commissioners to bear with me because I'm not going to get into details. I'm going to give just a straightforward answer and stop it there, and I'll give a reason to that. I'm going to plead with the commissioners. There was a complaint that was sent to the NDPP, by the NDPP, to the national head of the directorate. There was a case that was investigated in KwaZulu-Natal of kidnapping, extortion, and some other charges there, where these persons, Nangy and other persons, were arrested. The investigators at the ground level did their investigation, and in a process, certain things happens that I don't want to get into details. Eventually, the matter was set for bail application in January. The NPA withdrew the case. They gave reasons there. After that, is then that there was a complaint by the NDPP to the national head. Processes were followed and everything. Commissioner, there is a DC that is currently on trial. I want to appeal to you and also say, with this saying and understanding that it's sub judice for me to come and talk about these things here of that nature. That complaint, it went through the national office, it went through its processes, and there is a DC and there is a hearing that is in progress. The last time I appeared here on the 26th, from here I attended the DC.
So, following the collapse of the case, Nangy's case, in KZN, where his department was responsible for Nangy's case, right? His department, The NDPP of KZN opened a case against him and other people involved in this case. And he said he attended that hearing, internal hearing about it, how he managed the case. So he's going to be caught very soon about the lie. He was warning Matlala about, hey, there is this criminal is about to be released. Watch out. That will collapse soon. Let's listen.
It is continuing. So I appeal to you not to respond to these questions that are related to this.
And the disciplinary process against whom?
Myself and 4 others.
And is it a disciplinary so you say there was a complaint? And I'm not asking you to discuss the detail of it. I respect that if it's a pending matter, you want to discuss it. But I think we just want to try and understand your evidence about this, what it is that you're saying to us. So you say there was a complaint against you and others relating to the Nangy matter. Is that what you're telling us?
In that complaint,
No, let's take it step by step. You can explain.
I want to clarify something before I answer. In the complaint, it talked about investigators, not necessarily my name.
Yes.
There was a complaint.
So there's a complaint against investigators who report to you relating to the Nangy matter.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Yes. Correct.
You were then subjected, those investigators and you, that's what I want to understand, are then being subjected to a disciplinary process relating to that Nangy matter.
Correct.
Okay, that's right. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Sen.
Thank you, Commissioner. I don't propose to go into the merits and the details of the charges against General Senona. The charges are there for the record, and they are contained at Exhibit 61, page 614, the charges. It's just the fact of the charges that were relevant, and I accept that. Pardon me?
Page, Commissioners?
614. I accept that we should, it's not even relevant, in fact, to the mandate of this commission for us to discuss the merits of the DC. But the important point is that, General, that you had been asked to respond in some detail.
Come again, Commissioners. What is the question?
You had been asked to respond in some detail to the concerns that had been raised by the DPP in KZN. And I'll just take you to page 616, Exhibit 62.
Commissioners, can I say something?
Can I finish my question?
Before you ask a question, because I want to tell the Commissioners something about this document that you referred to. Commissioners, this document, we received it when we arrived here on the 27th. And for further to that, this document is part and parcel of the bundle of documents in my disciplinary hearing. I therefore request that I must not be asked questions about this because there is a hearing that is ongoing here. That is my plea.
Chair, I propose that I be permitted to ask my question. The question has got nothing to do with the disciplinary. It's merely about the fact of this document and what it's about. We will not be going into the details of.
You now realize, oh, holy crap, I am caught red-handed with my lie, and then start saying, oh no, this document not be discussed, not even allowing the evidence leader, Advocate Hassim, to ask the question. Yeah. Let's continue to listen, guys.
Relating to the Nangy matter.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Yes, Commissioner.
You were then subjected, those investigators and you, that's what I want to understand, are then being subjected to a disciplinary process relating to that Nangy matter.
Correct.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Hassan.
Thank you, Commissioner. I don't propose to go into the merits and the details of the charges against General Senona. The charges are there for the record, and they are contained at Exhibit 61, page 614, the charges. It's just the fact of the charges that were relevant, and I accept that, pardon me?
Page, Commissioners.
614. I accept that we should, it's not even relevant, in fact, to the mandate of this commission for us to discuss the merits of the DC. But the important point is that, General, that you had been asked to respond in some detail
Commissioners, what is the question?
You had been asked to respond in some detail to the concerns that had been raised by the DPP in KZN. And I'll just take you to page 616, Exhibit 62.
Commissioners, can I say something?
Can I finish my question?
Before you ask a question, because I want to tell the Commissioners something about this document that you referred to. Commissioners, this document, we received it when we arrived here on the 27th. And for further to that, this document is part and parcel of the bundle of documents in my disciplinary hearing. I therefore request that I must not be asked questions about this because there is a hearing that is ongoing here. That is my plea.
Chair, I propose that I be permitted to ask my question. The question has got nothing to do with the disciplinary. It's merely about the fact of this document and what it's about. We will not be going into the details of the contents.
Let's just hear the question, General, and then we'll see whether you still object.
But Commissioners,
even
this is
based,
about...
yes. Then let's just hear the question, just the question, General, and then, we can take it from there, or we will take it from there.
And General and Chair, by the way, this document is the witness's own document. It's a document that he compiled. It's not.
So it was supplied by him to the commission?
No, I mean, it's a document that he authored.
Okay.
It's an information note. And
616, you said.
616, yes, Commissioner Kamano. So the relevance of this is only the following, that you'll see at the end of the document it's dated 20 February 2025. And it's an information note prepared by General Senona in response to concerns that were raised by the DPP in KZN regarding the management of this Nangy case. I'll say no more about that. But the General was then required to look into it and provide a response, and he did so on the 20th of February 2025. Correct?
What is the question, Commissioners?
That you provided this information note on 20 February 2025.
It is the document I provided, but
Yes.
I really want to get into it.
Yes, and then on 10 March 2025 is when you send Mr. Matlala the attachment, the 220 pages of confidential information pertaining to Mr. Nangy. And what I want to suggest to you, General, is that your response that you were merely forwarding on information as a warning to him is not correct. that in fact you and Mr. Matlala were in conversation about Mr. Nangy and that document that you sent him in the context of the withdrawal of that complaint, trying to persuade him to withdraw the complaint against Mr. General Mkhunazi. So that's what I'm putting to you, that it wasn't merely for his information and warning, but that in fact it was part of an ongoing engagement between you and Mr. Matlala.
Thank you, Commissioners. First thing first, the document is not a confidential document. As I've indicated yesterday, I read the affidavit and then I saw the addresses, I sent it. I still stand by my response yesterday. Commissioners, General Senona is not a suspect on the case that was opened by Mr. Nangy. General Senona is not a suspect. That one, maybe even if they go and ask Mr. Nangy or read all the affidavits there, General Senona is not listed as a suspect. I don't have a reason to go and ask another person to tell another person to withdraw a docket where I'm not even a suspect. Even if I was listed as a suspect, I wouldn't have informed or persuaded another person to withdraw a case docket. I'll go to court and defend myself and my innocence in court. Like I came here, I went to my legal team because I know I'm called a witness, but the people who came here, they implicated me in some sort of, when my understanding, I am a respondent because this is a commission. I'm called a witness, but I am a respondent to the allegations against me. So General Senona was never, ever listed as a suspect. So I don't see any reason. The inference that is drawn by the advocate, it is totally incorrect. Thank you, Commissioners.
I've had my response. I can move on from this. Thank you, Chair.
So he's caught out on the line. 20th of February, he had to respond on those claims by Nangy. All right, he had to write that to the DPP of KZN on the 20th of February. The meeting between Lesetja Senona and Vusimuzi Matlala was on the 10th of March, where he shared an affidavit, confidential affidavit, that had details of Nangy and other people and other officers. Now, the evidence leader and the commissioner, they didn't put it to him about how this actually relates to the meeting with Nkandam Kwanasi. I'm sure you guys now know. You can see how it relates to their negotiation tactic, because Mr. Nangy had alleged that, the team, they had abused him. He was assault case so that the team can be removed and if something happens against Ndlatam Konas or Dumisani Kukuma. And this was part of their negotiation tactics that Matlala would then use when in the meeting that was arranged by Lesetja Senona and Police Commissioner of KZN. In that meeting, remember the text message that he was asked to read it out about that, the circumstances of that meeting? That in that WhatsApp, Nangy's name came up in there. So I would put it to him that he knows who Nangy is. Nangy is part of these big five cartels. It's part of them works in another, below someone else under Vusimuzi Matlala. because it's big five cartels, but they have their own people that work underneath them. All right, that intermediaries that do certain things for them. Criminal activities, of course, all criminal. Now, yeah, he's been caught red-handed on this one. So he wasn't alerting Matlala of, dangerous men being released. He was giving Matlala something to use as an ammunition when he goes to this meeting. So say, hey, you've been accused by this, doing this to this person. I can ask this person to drop the charges if you do X, Y, Z. Unfortunately for them, the police commissioner has a meeting recording and the details of that. And for police commissioner, this meeting was used as to gather intelligence information about Lesetja Senona and Matlala's relationship. Because we now know they're very connected. He's part of this big five cartel. He was working for them, giving them information. See? Yo! Mzansi. Shocking. So now let's listen how they roast him about the confidential information, sharing of the subs document, and still trying to defend the indefensible. Yeah, I don't know where they get people like this, to be honest. I don't know why you have people like this with so many people who are unemployed, could do a better job.
That members are not to share personal information with recipients who are not entitled to have access to the information, and that this constitutes the unlawful processing of personal information. And in paragraph 4, it states that in terms of section 70 of the SAPS Act, it's prohibited to share official information with persons who are not employed by the SAPS or are not employed, who are employed by the SAPS but are not entitled to access or view such information. And in the light of the provisions that this circular reminds members of, your sharing of the Nangy documents violated these prescripts.
Thank you, Commissioners. I've read the document. This document is solely to regulate the leakage of information and personal information of personnel to various social media platforms or recipients who are not entitled to have access to the information. That is when you look at the very first paragraph. And for me, that affidavit of Mr. Nangy, when we go and read it, when you read it, it is actually some sort of a bail application, the majority of it, application affidavits. And further to that, this document says leakage of personal information to various social media or platforms as even recipient. Now, when a document, Commissioners, is already in the public domain, it is not covered by this circular. This circular talks about operational issues of the police and WhatsApp group that are being opened in this paragraph 8 of this document. And then when we look at the paragraph 4 that the advocate is referring to, is sharing official information with persons who are not employed by the SAPS. But the issue of sharing something that is already in the public domain does not conform to the requirements of this document, this circular. This circular talks about you take information within the SAPS systems and everything, you send it to another person that is not supposed to have it. It doesn't address those issues that are already in the public domain. There's no sentence that says even information that is already in the public domain, you are not supposed to share it. And I've already indicated, Commissioners, earlier, yesterday when I was vigorously questions about this thing that of Mr. Nangy, that information was in the public domain. And according to my interpretation of this document, I think I've addressed the Commissioners. Thank you.
General, are you saying that if there's information that's clearly the sort of personal information that should not be shared in contravention of the POPIA Act, once it happens to be out there, you as a police officer will then distribute it as much as you like throughout the country? Is that what you are saying?
Not that, Commissioner. Yesterday when I responded, I said I only read the affidavit of Mr. Nangy. I never realized the magnitude of the documents and everything that were there, Commissioners. If I said, I want to say, you know, if I happen to see those ID numbers and everything, Commissioners, I don't know how, I think I would have done something, but I only saw the affidavit, I read those paragraphs, I send it. That is what I say. But what the Commissioner is asking me, I understand in relation to the POPIA Act, but this is a circular by the police, not the Act itself. It is giving certain directives that this is how information must be protected of the members, but they gave this directive in line with the POPIA Act, according to my understanding and the little time that I got here.
Exactly.
So I really understand that, yes, Commissioners. But I've already, sorry?
I was just listening to the emphasis you lay on the information already being out there. It just sounded as though you were saying, once it's out there, that's it, then whoever is affected by the information is fair game. I'm distributing it as much as I like. I, as General Senona, am distributing it as much as I like.
This emphasis is as a result of that document was already there, and then this other important information that was there that Commissioner Kumalo was engaging me on yesterday. By the time I sent it, I didn't see it. As I indicated, I only read the affidavit of Mr. Nangy. Thank you, Commissioner.
So you only read the body of the affidavit. You did not read what was at the top.
The entire document.
So are you suggesting that you did not even see the names of the people listed there? So yes, please respond. You did not even see the names at the top before the body of the affidavit. Is that what you are suggesting?
Where I found that those documents, when I opened it, the first thing it was the affidavit.
Please answer the question directly. So you are saying all you saw and read was the body of the affidavit, and these names, ID numbers, and so on, and sometimes even phone numbers, I think, that appear above the body of the affidavit. You did not see, you did not read any of that. Is that what you are suggesting?
Correct, Commissioner.
Odd, but I'll leave it there.
General, let me tell you why your evidence is not probable. The affidavit starts on page 7 of the dossier that you shared. The dossier itself is 200 pages long, and it starts on page 65.
220, Commissioner.
65 for file 1 of 3. The question the chair is asking you, the very first thing you should have seen is the details of the individuals, the case number, the sub-stamp, the ID numbers, and the 6 police officers who are respondents in the complaint. Because the affidavit is page 7. But pages 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, those are the details of the individual police officers. Starts on page 65.
I'm there, Commissioner.
And it's Annexure SEN2.
I'm there, Commissioner.
The first page, there's a police stamp. It's a SEP stamp, so it tells you that this is a SEPS document. Then you have the two complainants, Nangy and Brides. Then you have the Metro Police Respondent 1, Mr. Mohammed. Then you have Respondent 2, Mr. Yassin. Then you have Respondent 3, Mr. Yakub. Then you have Respondent 4, Captain. 5, Constable. 6, Colonel. 7, KZN Police Commissioner General Mkwanazi. 8, Colonel Governor. And their details are there, their personal details. The affidavit starts on page 7, which would be 71 of that bundle. And much later, even Mr. Nangy's ID number, you have no business sharing Mr. Nangy's ID number. You have no business sharing his cell phone number. You are breaking the law, everything that you are doing. You've got dockets in that dossier. These are SAPS documents. You were not just sharing an affidavit, you were sharing the entire dossier relating to the Nangy case. Over 200 pages worth of it. And there's no way those documents could have been in the public domain. Unless you can show this commission which newspaper article annexed to all these 220 odd pages, such that they would have been in the public domain. Unless you can show us that, I'm not prepared to accept that this were in the public domain.
I have commented yesterday. I'm not going to comment now, Commissioners.
I'll just say in conclusion then, Chair, that, I mean, it's unfortunate that we had to traverse this ground again. I thought it would have been obvious that, and particularly since I heard the General accept yesterday that had he seen it, he would not have done it if he had seen the information. I just want to get an answer from you, a final on this, that whether you still, as you sit here, say that you did not breach this circular.
Yes.
Given everything that's been put to you again today.
Correct, I didn't breach it.
I used to think arrogancy and intelligence goes hand in hand. That most people are very intelligent, they're very arrogant. But here we're seeing the opposite. Idiot who doesn't even see that he's really in trouble here, but continues to with this nonsense of, I'm not in trouble. I'm not in trouble. Sharing a confidential information, SAPS document. Undermine the POPIA Act. POPIA Act. Yeah? Yo. The demeanor, just, oh my gosh. These are the people at the top in leadership that are behaving this way. I mean, normally you would then say, oh yeah, I can see that. This is wrong for me to do it. At this point, you continue to say this? Holy crap. No. Yeah, I think, Mzansi, we're in trouble. We are in trouble here. Nah.
The 15th of January 2025, how did you know that they haven't finalized the contract unless you were involved in whatever was going on? Why would you know that? It's not your business. It's Mr. Matlala's business, according to you, that you're referring him for risk assessment. How and why would you know that there's a contract that must still be completed between them, that must be finalized?
Commissioners, I'm saying I was making a follow-up.
Yes.
Yes. It is
To
not
finalize the
I
contract.
was making a follow-up if he did finalize the contract. It is unfortunate that I utilized the word us. But I was making a follow-up.
You are requesting him, General. You're not asking for an update. It's not an update you're asking for. And please don't say unfortunate use of language, of English. No, it won't work. You're not asking for an update. You say you request that we finalize the contract. So you know the contract is not yet finalized. And how do you know that the contract is not finalized unless you are much more involved with this than you testified yesterday, or the impression you created yesterday? You knew the contract is not finalized.
As I've indicated, Commissioners, I wanted to know if this contract was finalized, because when we talked that time, he agreed to engage with them. He agreed to engage with those third parties. Hence, I didn't participate. Then I was asking him if this contract, he did finalize it, because the contract is a question of whether did they come, did they give him the thing, did he finalize it? I was checking if he did finalize it.
Okay. General, that can't be, and you know it's not. Your language is very clear. I request that if things are favorable, let's finalize the contract. You know that's not a request. That's not a request for an update. It's not an inquiry. You know as you sit there that, in fact, what this is you're asking Mr. Matlala, let's complete this contract. Let's do what is necessary to finalize it. You know that. And please accept that we also know what the English language you have used here means, because otherwise it's as if you're taking us for fools. You know, you tell us what you want, and then we're not reading the same text. In this text, you say, I request that we finalize the contract. And it says exactly that. So that's what it says. And I'm not asking you for comment further about it. That's what it says. It's language, it's clear. You're asking him to finalize the contract. That's one. Two, you say, for those guys who assisted us. So by now you have received, you know that Mr. Matlala has received assistance, whether it's his company or both your company, but you know from this text that assistance has been provided. So you further evidence that you are much more intimately involved with whoever you are referring to here, the third party, the guys that you are referring to. You have insight. They assisted us. It's not a slip of the English language. It's a fact you are stating, the guys who assisted us. So you're much more involved than you've let on to us. Lastly, the us, it's not a slip of the English language. It's not sometimes we speak us. You're speaking about something that you and Mr. Matlala are involved with these guys who have assisted you, and that you need to finalize the contract. That's what this text is. And please do not say to us things that suggest you think I think we've all done English, at least up to matric. And this is simple English. There's no difficult words that require a dictionary. Your text is clear. I request that if things are favorable, let's finalize the contract for those guys who assisted. And then us, you and Mr. Matlala and whoever else you are referring to. That's what it is.
And just one last point. Remember your earlier discussion with Mr. Matlala.
Do you wish to comment on this, General?
I was advised not to comment, and I'll take it.
No, I did not ask you not to comment. I just don't expect you to have a comment.
Thank you.
You can comment if you want to.
I take that. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
I was just reminding you, your earlier discussion with Mr. Matlala on page 3, it can't also be a slip of a tongue because he says to you, our project, meaning yours and his project. So it can be that both of you don't understand what us and I and me and we mean. Surely it cannot be. And your response to him is to thank him. Your response is not, I don't know what you're talking about. Your response is to say thank you. Want to comment or simply accept that that's what the text says?
I don't want to comment because our context of the text are not the same. That is all. I rather remain silent on this one. I don't want to answer.
Yeah, trying to use English as a way to get out of the lie. You know, to say, oh, I don't know English. Suddenly it's hard to speak English. English is my second language. Then you know that the lie is being caught red-handed. Even Madlanga is like this. Madlanga is like this. He wants to hide. Have a look. See how he's kind of like, oh my God, he's probably thinking, oh, I need to go somewhere. This is embarrassing. He's so embarrassed on his behalf. Justice Madlanga was so embarrassed on Lesetja Senona's behalf. Yeah. All right. Thank you, guys. This video is long, hour long. Hopefully going to watch it all. And until next time, the next video is going to be about him again, Lesetja Senona. It's about the bust, the 451 kilogram cocaine bust that was stolen under his watch. Yes, that story, it's a final one, but it's linked to something. It links to kidnapping. It's also linked to a murder of a DJ. So I'm going to come back with that one. Of course, Madlanga Commission has not put this thing together, but you know, we put all the dots together for the last one, and that's probably going to be the final one for in the testimony for Lesetja Senona. If you've actually stayed for that long listening to this video, thank you for you're welcome. You're fantastic, and please consider subscribing if you're new. Until next time, see ya.